Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends, Marvel's Knights Mindless one, Build-A-Figure Wave, Daredevil. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we continue looking at the Marvel Legends, Marvel's Knights Mindless one, Build-A-Figure Wave. As in front of me today, we have Daredevil, or should I say King Daredevil, as this figure is based on how Daredevil currently looks in the comics right now. The recent Chip Zdarsky run where Daredevil and Elektra are the king and queen of the fist. So this will pair up beautifully with the recent Elektra we got in the Spider-Man wave. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those two pose up together. So here we have Daredevil in the packaging with his billy clubs, a dual-bladed bow staff, and he does look very accurate to that current design. But I do have a few nitpicks that we will get into, but I am very happy to see the plastic packaging back with the window. So we get Marvel Knights down there, the Daredevil logo up top, a comic picture of Daredevil on either side, that same image on the back, as well as a write-up that reads, Daredevil, having gained superhuman senses after losing his sight, Matt Murdock protects Hell's Kitchen as an attorney by day and the hero Daredevil by night. And to build the Mindless one, you will need to buy 6 of the 7 figures in this wave. Today we're reviewing Daredevil, who doesn't actually have a Build-A-Figure piece, so you do not need this one to complete the Mindless one. So without further ado, let's get them open. So here we have a Daredevil out of the packaging with those weapon accessories on the table. Remember, no Build-A-Figure piece. First, you get the dual-bladed bow staff, which is actually taller than Matt. It looks really good. And then, of course, you get his trademark billy clubs we've seen before in the Legends line. They actually attach together like so. And he has that little satchel on the side where you can store them for safekeeping. And aesthetically, he absolutely looks like the new costume design. No doubts at all. And it is a completely pinless Marvel Legend figure as well, with the double jointed knees and elbows as we've come to expect. So he does look really nice. I just think he's missing his hood. Now, this costume design actually debuted in Daredevil Volume 7 Issue 4, where him and Elektra went on a quest and they were both wearing the matching uniforms with these really nice trench coats. So I have no doubts someone in the figure community are going to make some soft good trench coats for these figures and take them up another level. Let me get the tape measure out so we can see that Daredevil stands at about 6¼ inches tall, so as we would expect. And I do like his sort of gruffy, sort of scruffy beard look. So let's take a closer look. Of course, he has his trademark devil horns. He has the redded out eyes, and it's also like a half sculpted helmet over the face rather than a tight mask. And if I show you from a sewed profile, you can see it sort of sticking out where the nose is there, but it does give it a nice sense of depth. And he's got the scruffy beard as well, which is a nice contrasting look compared to the clean shaven lawyer that we usually get for Matt Murdock. So he will stand out amongst your other Daredevils on the shelf. He's got a nice ginger sculpted beard, and then he's got the scraggly hair at the back. Remember, Matt was just in prison, so he's let himself go a little bit, but again, it does look really nice. Now, this sort of bandana piece looks like a separate piece, but it's actually tooled in to the torso, so you can't remove that. That is attached to the torso, and unfortunately, it does limit the head articulation as well. As you could just see, it was on a dumbbell joint, so you've got the swivel, you've got a little bit of tilt, but again, forward and back, limited, very limited. But the ab crunch does allow you to get him to look down and lean back pretty good as well. So there is a bit of range here on the ab crunch. You get the double Ds on the chest. Who doesn't like seeing double Ds on a chest there? You've got some nice sculpted line to break up the black and the red. And the costume design is very accurate to what we see. I just think a hood choice would have been a nice option for display. Missing the hood isn't inaccurate by any means. He does look like this quite a lot during the run, but I think an added hood here to give us that choice would have gave the figure a nice option. You've got the bowling ball type pimples here on the shoulder pads, which is like an armor piece, but that doesn't hinder the arms going up to 90. You've got the nice pinless double jointed elbows, no problem on the range there, and you've got some wraps around the forearms, and then you've got the wraps on the hands, and you've got 2 gripping hands, remember, rather than fists, so he can actually hold his weapons. But I would have liked the option for some fisted hands as well. Maybe we can use the Hand Ninja's hands, we will find out. This belt is a separate piece which holsters the billy clubs, as I've already showed you, no problem at all. That sort of hides the cut where the waist swivel is as well, so that's where you get your waist swivel. Moving down to the trousers, you've got these big puffy sort of ninja trousers. You've got the cut up here at the thigh, down to the knees. You've got the double jointed pinless knees. You've got the wraps around the shins and around the feet. No boot cut, but you do have ankle pivot and rock out. And if I zoom out just a little bit to show you the range here, so you can bend the knee, no problem, to 90, and then you can fully articulate it so he can kick his own butt. But I do think people will complain about the look of the knee. So again, it's about finding that balance between sort of function and how it looks, that articulation versus aesthetics argument. So aesthetically doesn't look very pleasing, but functionally it gives you the full range you want. So it's a compromise they've made there. So I don't think it looks too bad, but I do think people will find fault with the knee joints there. They're not perfect by any means. They don't look very natural, but it does give you the range people will probably prefer when posing up their Daredevil figures. The legs also go forward pretty good as well. Back, not so much, but out to the side, okay as well. So all in all, I do think he has a decent range. It is a completely pinless Marvel Legend figure. Aesthetically, it does look very accurate to the costume design as well. I just would have preferred a hooded option and also some fisted hands. Here we have Daredevil holding his dual-bladed bow staff, which is done in a red with a nice sort of silver up top for the blades. And he does hold it with his 2 gripping hands, but unfortunately, the gripping hands have a side-to-side hinge rather than an up and down. And I do think with the billy clubs and this bow staff, some up and down hinges would have definitely been more beneficial for some more natural poses. So that's a little frustrating. And of course, some butterfly joints would have gave you even more range as well. And I don't think that would have broke up the costume design too much at all either. But it still looks good. And he will still hold it. You can still get him posed up with the dual bladed bow staff. But yeah, those little tweaks would have made it that bit better. And of course, he can hold and grip his trademark billy clubs. No problem at all to give you that Daredevil look. And remember, they can sort of plug in to create one sort of longer staff piece as well. And if you have any of the other previous Daredevils, you can attach them to the sort of white piece to make it look like he's swinging or whatever you need to as well. So you have options combined with some of the other Daredevil weapons. And these are not accessories that come with Daredevil, but I did just open the Fist Ninja and I've stole his fisted hands, which do work on Daredevil. Now the reds don't match up perfectly, but I think they are fine for display. You can hardly notice, and once you get him posed up punching someone, you can't even tell. They have the same wraps on as well, just a different shade of red. And I also stole the hood from the skull that came with the Fist Ninja, as it isn't glued to the hood. The hood's a separate piece, but it doesn't quite work for Daredevil. I tried, I wanted it to look better than it actually does. I have had to tuck it underneath the beard just so it stays in place, but proportionally just not quite right. So you can use the fisted hands even though they're a darker shade of red, and the hood is a separate piece. You can put it on there, but I don't think it works very well. And this is what we wanted to see. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the king and queen of the Fist. Royalty is upon us as we have Daredevil and Elektra in their matching Daredevil uniforms. Remember when Matt Murdock went to prison, Elektra carried the mantle of Daredevil in Hal's kitchen while he wasn't around, and now they share that as the king and queen of the Fist. Lots of mystical stuff going on, but honestly, that Chip Zdarsky run is really good, so go and give it a read if you haven't. But they look good. My only nitpick, and again, I'm nitpicking here, is the reds are slightly different. Now, I think they're meant to be matching from the comics, but Elektra's red is different to Matt's red. Hers is maybe a little bit darker. I don't quite know. Now, you can't really tell. Honestly, they look fine. They're both completely pinless. Aesthetically, they look great together. And when you start posing these up, undoubtedly, they will look fine on display. But the reds are slightly different. And I also think if you get those soft good trench coats, that will really make them stand out on the shelf as well. So yeah, where's Rebel 10 Customs? I would love to see that happen. Here we have some Daredevil comparisons, and I've took it way back to 2015's Ultimate Goblin Build-A-Figure Wave Daredevil here, and then we have the re-released version of Daredevil that was in the Defenders box set in 2018. But they are outdated on the Bucky Cap body. Daredevil was worthy of better, so let me take them out of the way. And in the meantime, they did give us a Shadowlands Daredevil, and then also the sort of 90s armored Daredevil we got on the retro Spider-Man card. So yeah, this was the sort of Shadowlands look before we went into volume 7. So yeah, that one predates this one in the comics, but it does give us a few different contrasting looks for Daredevil on the shelf. But the be all end all for me is of course the recent 3-pack Daredevil that was on the new Renew Your Vow Spider-Man body. Has the toe articulation, the sort of inverted ab crunch with the butterfly joints. This is the best Daredevil in Marvel Legends form for me, but this is his current modern look in the comics. We can try a head swap. Doesn't look too bad at all. It is pretty interesting to see these alternative looks for the costumes, especially the beard on the regular Daredevil outfit, and then the clean shaven look on the King Daredevil look as well. So yeah, interesting contrast. The helmet reds don't match the outfits exactly, but because they're disattached from the body, you can't even tell. So overall, interesting looks. And I had to see what all of the Marvel Legend Daredevils look like together on the display. So of course, these front three are the sort of more defining modern looks for Daredevil, but I'm still attached to the 90s version as well. So I'm curious, you let me know in the comments below, which is your favorite look for Daredevil in the comments. And yes, I know that's Elektra, but technically she was Daredevil. So yes, again, there are more out there, I'm sure. Let me know if I'm missing any, but here we have a lot of Daredevils. Here we have Daredevil compared to a couple of regular Elektras, and we absolutely need this red version updated the same way we got the white version, with the double jointed elbows and the new head sculpts, and also that Black Widow articulation wouldn't go amiss with a character like Elektra as well. So yeah, red version on that new Black Widow body with a couple of interchangeable heads would be perfect. Here we have Daredevil compared to some hand ninjas, and remember, these are the ones you want to have him fighting in a display, because the fist ninjas that come in this Mindless one wave are actually allies to Daredevil and Elektra. So these are the bad guys or good guys, depending on which side of the fight you're on, because they're actually controlled by the Punisher, Frank Castle. That's right, he is in control of the hand, and he has a brand new updated sort of samurai inspired costume as well, which I have no doubts is on Hasbro's radar, considering we've got Daredevil, Elektra, and also the Fist Ninja. So expect to see Frank Castle from this storyline very soon. And honestly, read it if you haven't. Frank Castle rides a freaking dragon. There's also a battle between Daredevil and US Agent, and you can guess which one wins. So let me unplug that shield, because there's actually a couple of panels with Daredevil wearing the shield on his back. Now, I've got nowhere to plug it in, but it is on a clip and pin system, isn't it? So I could clip it to the wrist. And yeah, he does absolutely beat the shit out of US Agent in that story. There's also an epic battle between Daredevil and Spider-Man. So here we have the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vow Spider-Man, and these two go really well together. Now, I won't tell you which one wins, so please don't write in the comments I'm giving you spoilers. I'm just hyping you up and giving you a reason to go and read the source material. And just to give you even more incentive, Daredevil's actually being hunted by the Avengers. So obviously Cap and Iron Man are involved in that. So here we have a couple of Marvel Legends for your display. Here we have Luke Cage and Blade, who are also in this -1 Build-A-Figure wave. Go and check out my full reviews on the channel right now, or after this video. Here we have Doctor Strange and Clea, who look great together. Again, Clea's in this -1 wave review on the channel. And just for a couple of female body type comparisons, here we have the Shriek pinless body and also Black Widow. Wrapping up with some of the Who crew, here we have Frogman, Tigra and Jocasta, who is reading out comments from the last Marvel Legends review. So make sure you leave a comment on this video, and she may pick you to read out on the next one. Who have you picked today?
Sinekwezu says, her eyes are crystal clear. I see what you did there.
And then last but never least, it is of course Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. Not now. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends, Marvel Knights -1 Build-A-Figure wave Daredevil, or should I say King Daredevil. Okay, I know he's not officially called that, but you know where I'm going. He pairs up beautifully with the Elektra we got not so long ago, and they will look great on the shelf together. Very aesthetically pleasing. Both of them are completely pinless and solid, accurate representations to what we see on the comic book page. A very recent comic as well. This design only debuted in 2022, so a lot of people are not going to be familiar with this look for Daredevil, so may not be too excited to own the figure, but I do love learning via the medium of action figures, and it was this Marvel Legend that inspired me to go and read the recent Chip Zdarsky run, which I really enjoyed. Honestly, it's a really solid book, so I'm a little bit more attached to this character design than I would have been otherwise. I do have nitpicks though, it's not all perfect. I do think we should have got some fisted hands for Daredevil, and the gripping hand should have had the up and down hinging so we can better pose with his weapons. Some butterfly joints wouldn't have went amiss as well, and I think an added hooded accessory or an interchangeable head would have really made this costume design look solid as well, because let's be honest, we're not getting the soft good trench coats, are we? But hopefully someone out there will make them. He looks great. You let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, have you read that recent comic run? Do you enjoy it? Let me know your thoughts. But if you like Marvel Legends, one thing is for sure, you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can go and check out all the other tiers as well. Support the channel. Follow me on Instagram. It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter as well, or X, whatever it's called, Dan Who Reviews. And I will, of course, see you on the next one.